Hey, thanks for joining. I'm Chris Gennaro, your host. Today we have Garrett from Maul. How you doing?
What's up, Chris? Chris, thanks for having us or having me. I guess none of the guys
Cool.
made it.
Yeah, no, thanks for coming. My normal co-host Eric is had to work late, so I'm flying solo today as you are.
Little one-on-one action.
Uh, we'll just get started talking about your new album. It's coming out soon, 7/16. It's coming out on Redefining Darkness. We've had a bunch of other Redefining Darkness bands on. It's called, help me out with this one. Seraphic Punishment?
Yeah, Seraphic Punishment.
Seraphic Punishment. Thank you.
Yep. Shout out Redefining Darkness team. Shout out Papa Tom.
I heard the one track is released. It was you re-recorded one of the basement track that you did on one of your EPs.
We just did a little rehearsal demo on top of an already demo release. So, but it's a nice little preview for the shit we were working on to come. What would be the full length now?
Yeah, I like, I can't say that I would regularly listen to like a basement demo or something, but then it sometimes is interesting to hear the difference between the basement recording and the real recording and
oh, absolutely. Especially when it was in its that was a song we were eager about. Like, we had just finished it, so it wasn't even like we had practiced it, but it wasn't like tightened up or anywhere near what it became on the full length, almost a year later. Because I think we tracked that demo probably around this time in 2020. And then we didn't track the full length until April 2021. So yeah, that song went through, of course, a lot of alterations and tightening up and whatever comes. And we had no plans that would be the title track either. It just kind of had the coolest concept and sound and feel that we were going for, and yeah.
And then I think you re-recorded the Monarchy of Mold song too.
Yeah, we did. We actually did Infatuation and Monarchy of Mold. We re-recorded it because it's a whole new band lineup and kind of changed some things up, added some elements, made things faster. So it'll be it's going to be fun to see all the people say, well, I prefer the Monarchy of Mold EP version. You know what I mean? Because I think those tracks bang. For their, like, I'm really happy with that release. How it turned out, how it sounds. It's a very mean sounding release. So the album has a way different feel, but it's the way that we are now.
So what can we expect from the new album?
Better songwriting, I would say. Better songwriting, a little bit more dynamic, not in like a boring way, or we're not trying to be like proggy or by any means. We're still giving you really, really hard riff after riff, a lot of tempo changes. We've got a lot more atmosphere, a lot more noise, a lot of more background in the album. We've got some synth work in there that our good friend Mike from Warflurch loaned his skills to us. So some really cool dynamics on the album. It's a fucking cool. I'm like really happy with how it plays out. Really, really mean stuff. We're coming into our own, and I think we're just hitting the stride now. So
cool. Yeah, we've had Mike on, and that's actually how I discovered you guys through the split that you did with Warflorch.
Beautiful.
And I really dig that the song that you had on there, because it's sort of doomy in the middle, and
it's super doomy. Yep.
Yeah, and I love some of the guitar work on there. I think it starts off with like a little obituary solo-ish James Murphy type of thing, but that's not even like my favorite guitar parts of that song. I really like the doomy sort of middle stuff in that too.
That's so I love that. Like, that was our whole project last year after we recorded the full length. That's all we did was work on that song, and we got it out in December. And it's cool because we've never written anything that. We've done a lot of doom sections and parts, flirting around and playing with tempo changes. Like I said, we're kind of a sludgy band to begin with, but that was the first one where we really just, let's dive in, let's build layers, let's fucking, because we all, the drummer Robbie and I specifically love listening to doom and death doom bands, and so it was cool to just let the guitar player go crazy. Al, shout out Big Al. Yeah, 13-minute track was pretty cool for me to be able to see them just craft out. And then I was like, fuck, I got to write lyrics for 13 minutes.
Do you guys do that one live? Because that seems like it would like go on like.
We did it once live. We're probably only doing it that one time too. We played it back in April with a show we did with Phobophilic, other Fargo death metal, fantastic band. Yeah, we opened with it just for the one-time ordeal, and it was really cool. We had our fill-in guitarist Jake, who kind of bops in between Lamb and Al for wherever we need him, just on tours and stuff. But every now and then we'll also rock as a 6-piece, so we had him as well, and we were able to hit all the layers, and it was really cool.
Yeah, I was looking at some of your past members, and it looks like, I guess Alex, I want to, the guy's got the same last name, Alex and Michael. So I assume they were either brothers or cousins or something like that.
Yep, they're brothers who've actually played in bands together for like 10 years. It's pretty cool. Michael isn't with the band anymore. He was just kind of with it over the pandemic. But yeah, it was cool to have some brothers in the band and have that dynamic.
So you mentioned that this is this is a new lineup. What caused that? How were the new people found? How did that all come about?
So we had, before we call him Brother Al. Before Al was in the band, he was actually on bass. He had just started on bass with us for like 2 months, and our guitarist at the time, who wrote Monarchy of Mold, Jordan, was kind of on his way out. He had talks with us. It wasn't really good for his like mental health and being on the road, and he was doing the sober thing and wasn't good to be around clubs and stuff like that. And we all understood we wanted him to be healthy and happy more than sacrificing shit for the band, So, and Al is just a fantastic musician, and he plays guitar, so he just hopped from bass within 2 months to fill in that spot, and we started writing songs right away. And that was right at the beginning of the pandemic. That was pretty much March, right when everything began. Al started writing songs. We were still getting together once a week and jamming and writing, not really knowing what was going on. Just wanted to write a full length or at least a bunch of material.
So I think you did one of your EPs, one of your cassettes with Redefining. So I guess it was just natural for them to do the full length.
So they had actually reached out to us right after the pandemic started, and that was about a month into us releasing Monarchy of Mold by ourselves. We had gotten on a couple playlists. Shout out and fucking rest in peace, Trevor. He put Infatuation on a playlist for his like Metal Injection monthly article he had going on. And shortly after that, Redefining Darkness, Thomas was putting out a playlist for bands that had tours canceled or whatever, and we submitted a track, and he talked to us like within a couple of days, really liked what we had. We agreed to do the full length, and then it was kind of on our end, we were just kind of like staying busy, like, yo, what if we released like a little demo, like just to get it out there, announce that we're with Redefining, that there's a full length coming. And I think he liked how determined we were to stay busy through the pandemic. We released that. We released a music video that we filmed ourselves, well, with the help of a company, but we acted in it and everything. We did the live release that also Redefining Darkness released on cassette, and then we had a DIY label release it on VHS, which was really cool. So we were staying busy throughout the pandemic, and I feel like, yeah, Thomas loved the way that looked, and we were just trying to stay sane,
And I think I read in the notes somewhere that you're doing something with Gurgling Gore.
Yeah, absolutely. Ryan has been really cool shit. He's releasing all of my friends' projects, they're all really badass, you know. He actually released our side project that Brennan from Thorn and I did earlier this year, little grindcore project called Paranoia Apparition. And he dropped that on cassette, which was really cool. And when I got the okay from Thomas that he wasn't going to be doing cassettes anymore, he's just kind of leaning away from it, that we could work with whoever we trusted, I knew that I wanted to go, like, between Head Split Records and Gurgling Gore, probably the two labels I order the most cassettes from. And yeah, I just have a good relationship with Ryan, and he was stoked to release the full length. And yeah, we're just going to keep it rolling with all the people we fuck with, you know?
I always refer to him as Big Daddy Gore because it's more fun to say.
Oh, it's way better. Yeah. I didn't know if you knew about yeah, Big Daddy Gore, though. That's for sure the way to call him.
Yeah, no, we've had him on. He's super cool, dude.
Yeah, he's a fucking great dude. Great dude.
I keep saying we like Eric's around, but sorry, Eric.
Shout out Eric.
Yeah, so getting into that stuff, I you know, like I said, I discovered you guys through the Warflorch split. How did that come about?
Man, Mike and I started getting along on Instagram shortly after I kind of found his band. You know, I was like, shit, I really like this Lurking Doom demo that they put out. And by the time they put Shit Slam out, I was like, yo, I just started like talking about how cool they were and shit. And we vibed right away. He was doing some live stuff like on Instagram, and I had never done anything like that in my life. Like I said, I'm not very good with technology. So, but then you know, over the course of the pandemic and just seeing how cool it was to talk to people about the same shit you're doing across the world and shit, like I was like, I started doing my own like weekly fucking Instagram live hangout with guests, interviewing people.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so there was Maul Monday and Warflorch Wednesday every week there for a while. But it was cool, you know, you met a lot of new friends and people would hang out in the live chat and talk. There are people that I talk to regularly now, you know, just because of a weekly hangout live session, you know. It's kind of cool. I suppose it's the same as like a Twitch streamer, you know, but yeah, it's all new to me, so it's pretty cool to experience. So
yeah, no, clearly, I mean, I'm having a lot of fun doing this show and stuff. I mean, and it's certainly not for profit, so
right.
But we're, you know, I'll get your Instagram stuff in the description so people can check that out if you're interested. That's super awesome. And then I was looking at through your Facebook page and realizing that you've played with a lot of the bands that we've had. I think you're, you know, let's just segue into your tour, because I think you're doing Philly, which is kind of close to where we are. I think you're playing with, I want to say, Sentient Horror and Tombstoner.
Yeah, absolutely. And Cavern Womb and another band, I believe, in Philly. But yeah, we're taking Tombstoner on the road with us on our album release tour. So the album comes out the 15th of July, and then we go out on tour the 21st. We start in Boston, and we're doing 8 days with Tombstoner leading into a fest. But yeah, we're hitting Boston, Brooklyn, Philly, Washington, D.C., Louisville, all kinds of places. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I don't know how relative close everything is around there, but
yeah, and what Boston's, I mean, Philly's like a half an hour, 45 from where I am in Central Jersey, and then Boston's like, I guess, what, 3 hours, 4 hours
okay
up north. And I know Tombstoner, again, we've had them on. I really dig their stuff.
Yeah,
those
they're
should be
fantastic.
awesome shows.
It's cool that they're also with Redefining Darkness, so they're kind of doing the whole package unintentionally, but it's just cool that there are that many people you can vibe with and put together cool shit with.
So Sentient Horror is just doing the one show, but it's Tombstoner that's doing the tour, or?
Sentient Horror is doing 2 shows. They're playing Brooklyn the night before with us as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, which also is Redefining Darkness, so.
Yeah, I think they've got a new album that just dropped, I think really pretty recently within the last month or two. Uh
There's some really cool lineups on that tour that I'm really happy to. We're playing with like Wretched Inferno. We're playing with Path to War in DC. Can't wait for that.
cool. And I think they were from one of your splits too, correct?
Yeah, we did the four-way split with Hanging Fortress, Torn in Half, and Path to War. Yep.
What's the background on that? I'm always interested in like how these four-way splits come and who's organizing it and
That was a project I did. Again, it was another thing I did over the start of the pandemic. I was like, I had this vision of doing a three-way split. Um, Torn in Half was actually an original band that I was talking to about it with. The band that is Gordon Brace out of Chicago. They were another band before, but they were the original one. So it was kind of us three. And I was just wanted to, I helped out with a local tape label in town here, See Never Records. And I wanted to put out something cool with my band, you know, four-way split across the country, and all a bunch of like the same wave of bands. I'd say, you know, we're all like the same generation of death metal, a little bit different energy, you know, but all coming up at the same time. So I don't know. That was a really cool project that came together, just trying to manifest it a lot, you know.
and those are all small print runs, right? Like 150, 200 copies, something like that.
Yeah, we did I think we just did 150 the first time, unless we did 300. I think we only did 150 because it was a DIY split, you know, like and then we did Life After Death came out a few months later and did the official repress for us, which I think was another 300 copies or something. So yeah, a couple different colorways.
I went to art school. I always like to talk about art. Let's talk about the cover of the new CD.
That's Seraphic Punishment.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Jason Barrett. I was able to look through his stuff. So he looks like a big death metal dude. You know, he's got a lot of death metal logos and really pretty cool artwork. How did you get hooked up with him?
Yeah, Jason Barnett. He's the vocalist of Petrification out of the PNW area. I just followed him on Instagram as a fan. I just saw his work. He's really good at that like trippy hellscapes and like ethereal color work with the acrylics, and just he's a madman. He's a wizard with art. And when the time came, we knew we wanted to do like a painting, something really, really big and different for the first LP. I just sought him out. I never asked him before, like how much things cost and how he does commissions. And yeah, I was just kind of as a fan, I reached out and like, yo, this would be cool. He killed it. He took an idea that the guitarist Lam and I conversed. We had like a little sticky note with a little bit different design, but it had like the stairway. It had like a face up there that ended up becoming the hands. We had the silhouettes of people like on leashes and stuff like on the sticky note, and I just gave him a rough layout. I was like, I trust you. Give me a hellscape with these colors. I want it to look kind of dreamy, and yeah, he fucking killed it. Like, it's so cool. Like, that's something that you can stare at for a long time and keep finding different details that like blow you away.
It's funny that we were talking about the basement recordings versus the re-records. I'd love to see those little sticky notes of like the stick figures up going up the stairs.
Yep. I actually, so on that four-way split we were talking about, Funerary Exhumation, I did that with Rama, formerly Gut Slaughter on Instagram. They go by Harami Mami now. They've done some artwork for 200 Stab Wounds and Volcano and a bunch of bands. But they did that cover, the four-way split, and I actually do have that sticky note of the stick figure somewhere. I knew I wanted it to be like 4 panels, like different scenes of this ritual, and that's what I gave them with the positions, and they just I could probably find it if I went and grabbed that book, but
Yeah, you got to post that stuff to Facebook. I think that type of stuff is hysterical.
yeah, no, especially with the idea and the execution is hilarious because I mean, there's a reason why I'm searching for the coolest artists, you know, because I can't do shit.
It's fun. Yeah, no, it was nice going to art school because there was plenty of metal, like just tons of metal heads that, you know, and all sorts
Yeah.
there. Let's see, Mutilation Barbecue. You did a bunch of stuff with not releases, but you played a bunch of shows with them, it looks like.
So we got to play one show with Mutilation Barbecue actually.
Oh.
And it was just the Collapsing Sun jam that we played in St. Paul. It was a cool fest that a homie Dave booked. He runs Collapsing Sun, like clothing and skate brand. He's also the vocalist of Sentence to Die, shout out Sentence to Die. But yeah, Mutilation Barbecue went on tour with our really good friends Gordon Brace and Hanging Fortress, and then we all linked up at that fest, which was really cool. But we're gonna do more shit with Mutilation Barbecue because they're amazing.
Yeah.
They're incredible.
Yeah, maybe I saw a couple different posts for the same show, and I was thinking it was a couple. You know,
Sure.
It sucks because I'm halfway between Philly and New York, and you'd think that it would mean that I get to see twice the amount of shows, but it's like it's such a pain in the ass to get to either one of those places. But
yeah.
But there are a lot of cool venues, you know, in New York still, and in Jersey. Are you playing any shows in Jersey?
Not on this run, no. But I mean, I would imagine we would on the next swipe through because we're going to be busy. Hopefully, within the next year here, we're going to be pretty busy. So.
And I guess that you guys got jobs that you can take, you can go on the road a lot.
Yeah, I mean they're pretty forgiving. They all understand the band life. There's a couple of them that need to collect enough time off to be able to execute some things, but yeah, I kind of am adaptable. I don't really give a shit about working anywhere, so I find places. I'm upfront with them. I'm like, I do all the booking. Like, I'm putting in these days because I'm not going to be here. Like, don't expect anything else. You know what I mean? I'll be here when I'm not out on the road. Nice. And yeah, if they don't like how often I'm gone, then I just figure out when I get back. I don't
know. And anything else to expect from the new album?
Oh, we've got some of my favorite songs that we've written aren't even out yet or haven't been heard yet. So the opening track is gonna blow people away, I hope. Like there's a reason I wanted to keep it not a single, and I kind of put like I think I put the most adventurous song first, but it's like the coolest in my opinion. I don't know. I can't wait to start playing it live. I don't know how to explain it really, but there's a fucking organ part. There's another cool doom spot. There's catchy ass riffs. I don't know.
So did you make a conscious effort not to play this stuff live and wait until the album was out?
We've played a good deal so we did a tour in January. We went out for 2 weeks and we kind of split it up with we had Rising Shadows from Alabama with us, and then we had Warflurch with us for the other half of it. And we were playing album songs on those runs for sure, okay. Just getting them tight. Not all of them. There's like the opening track we haven't played it all live yet. There's one other track we just started playing live this last I think our last tour in April. We started playing it a couple times there. So yeah, we've just been sitting off on it, you know. But like the title track and a lot of the ones that we re-recorded, of course, we've been playing live. The album ender we've been using as our set ender. which is a cool one that no one's heard except for if you saw us live. So.
And I guess I always just ask people how, how the scene is where you're from. So how's the scene in Fargo?
Fargo is fucking, we're spoiled. I say it a lot. We're very fucking spoiled. There's so many talented, cool artists around here, from punk to black metal to noise, death metal, thrash, like great hip hop, great hardcore still. Like Fargo kind of, when I got introduced to the scene here, it was very hardcore DIY driven. And that's where I got to see a lot of the DIY tour culture and learn how it was from the backseat, I guess, you know what I mean? Seeing all the bands come through and checking out cool shows and friends playing new bands and the all ages aspect and what it can do is, because I mean, I was from the reservation. So like learning, there wasn't a lot of kids like me, and these weren't quite kids like me yet, but it was like the same culture that I'm about. So it was like a learning process, and meeting people was like first introduction to like community,
So I missed a little part of that. You said a reservation?
Yeah. I'm from a White Earth reservation in Minnesota.
Say that again. What?
I'm from White Earth reservation in Minnesota.
Earth. So I don't know anything about that. What is that?
It's indigenous land. Not very glamorous by any means. It was a rough spot at times to grow up in, and it still is. Just recently had some horrible shit happen to a family member last night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, not good. He had successful surgery today though. So yeah, it's not a fun spot in a lot of ways. Three of us are from the same res, Lamb, our guitarist, and Robbie, the drummer. We're all from the White Earth, so it's kind of cool that we've been the core of Maul since starting in a bedroom writing what would become Maul, and yeah, we're all from the same spot. Kind of, it's cool. Yeah, so when I moved to Fargo is when I got introduced to music scene culture, really. But now it's sorry.
No, I'm just kind of curious about that, because it's obviously that's totally foreign to me growing up in the suburbs and stuff. So I was just kind of interested in like what you're exposed to there versus what is it?
I mean, it's just not very big for one. It's kind of designed to be a dead end. I mean, in retrospect, and like there's a lot of politics, of course, behind it, but there's not a good, to me, especially being indigenous, there's not a very good outlook of what reservations are and what they offer people. It feels like it's very limiting. A lot of people are kind of cornered in a lot of ways. There's limited jobs. There's a casino and shit like that, but there's drugs that it's kind of a target for like Minneapolis area to come up, and easy to bring a bunch of drugs, a bunch of fentanyl overdoses and just bad shit like that. Young kids getting into shit that their younger cousin or older cousins are into, and I don't know. It's just not it's a happy place for some people. Don't get me wrong. Like, but for me, I was never gonna make it out of there for sure. Just mentally, it's different experiences for everybody. But I've seen and grew up around a lot of rough shit, and I just couldn't be around it. I wouldn't be 31 right now if I still would have lived in a res. That's for sure.
Does any of that make it into the lyrics or any of that stuff or the themes for Maul?
Yeah, there's been a couple different takes. I would like to think that all the lyrics or all the songs are based from a very real spot, just kind of painted up in death metal scenery, different symbolisms for actual emotions or perspectives of life, or just survival. But yeah, on the full length coming up here, we have a song called Oracular Burial Grounds, and it's kind of about like conjuring up an ancient indigenous deity to wipe out Christianity existence, basically as revenge for the genocide that's been invoked over a lot of generations. So that's a very, very powerful, very pissed off song that I'm happy to take that stance. And I've got a lot of really cool friends in extreme metal. Stan from Terminal Nation, fucking Big O, Brian Ortiz from Shabalba and Sampantli. Like those are really cool indigenous extreme musicians that I look up to and are able to become friends with. It's kind of cool to be that I don't know. I don't want to say we're representation, but if I can take that stance and be like, no, this is very real to me, like fuck you if you think that's a political move or a bad take. Like this is my life, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no. Yeah.
So it's kind of like the native a native deicide song.
That's cool. It sounds like it could be a screenplay for a pretty awesome horror movie as well.
Oh yeah, it could be fucking it.
I feel like I'd go see that for sure.
I would watch that.
Cool. Any other shout outs, other stuff before we wrap it up?
Oh shit here. Shout outs. We got our homies in Flesh Rot out of West Texas area. They're about to officially release their full length as well. Through oh my god, now I'm spacing on the label. I think it's Desert Wastelands. Great fucking band. They're gonna take over death metal for sure. They fucking heavy Autopsy influence, just filthy fucking death metal, and cool people to party with. Phobophilic, also from Fargo. We're just inadvertently tag teaming and hopefully putting North Dakota as like a little spot in death metal history. We're both put out our first LPs together in the same year. Like they're killing it in a whole different lane and atmosphere of death metal, and we're doing our own. And it's a cool harmony to see. We got two other bands in Fargo, Vessels. They're like progressive death metal, and Pursuit, very, very fast thrash death metal. I did a guest vocal on their upcoming LP. So there's really cool shit for metal coming just out of Fargo that I hope whatever Phobo and us can build, we can put on for them and keep, you know what I mean?
Cool. And yeah, I was gonna say, I also say I always put the links in the description. So it's gonna take me a while to get all that shit down, but I'll get it in the description.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know really else to shout out.
Okay.
Our album Redefining Darkness and Gurgling Gore. We're doing the 2-week tour. Check it out if we're coming to your area.
It sounded like it's going mostly up the East Coast.
Yeah, we're hitting the East Coast and working our way back through a bunch of Ohio dates with the fest. We're playing Into the Darkness Fest. Bunch of cool bands on that: Scattered Remnants, Macabre, Scorched, Mutilatred, bunch of really cool bands. We're playing Detroit, Chicago, and La Crosse, Wisconsin on our way back home. Some places we've hit up before, a bunch of new spots. So we're working a lot to play everywhere. We're about to hit like 30 some states this year, touring. Pretty cool for a little band from North Dakota. So we're just trying to work hard and stay out there.
I feel like you're going to be fucking exhausted after that.
I love it.
Yeah. I wish I had done that in my youth, but I can't even imagine doing that now. I feel like I just.
Yeah. It's probably the last time I'll invest this much of my life to do a band, but like I'll still be, I want to do a label. Like I know that this won't last forever. We're just trying to hit it while it's there, and make some friends and make some cool fun out of it. But yeah, the road life definitely gets hard sometimes. You know what I mean? The body. I've been really hard on my body for a lot of my life. So I don't know, but I think it'd be the last time I'd try to do like a full-time band project for sure. because I don't know. This is my baby. This is my passion project. So
cool. Well, I really appreciate you coming on, Garrett. Wish you a lot of luck. Keep in touch. We'll post the the stuff when we come to play around here, and we'll have you back on with the rest of the guys at some point.
Yeah, I gotta get the rest of the boys with me.
Cool. Thanks for joining, everybody.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
Peace out.